I had her sign a damage waiver. The customer claimed that I had her sign the damage waiver after I damaged her garage. I said that's BS, because if I'm protecting myself, why would I have you sign it afterwards? And number two, why would you sign it if you knew what you were signing? Like, why would you sign anything without reading it, right?
Welcome back. It's episode 2, and today we're talking with Mike Safford, who's the owner and operator at Safford. I'm sorry, I tried to put a T in there because I had a teacher named Stafford, and she was the meanest woman that ever lived. We're talking with Mike Safford. He's the owner-operator of Safford Delivery and Transportation Services. And for those of you that haven't heard of Mike, he has got one heck of an excellent YouTube channel that chronicles all of his on-the-job experiences of hauling materials up in New England territory, and that's how ENC met Mike. And in our opinion, it's probably one of the best YouTube channels out there for hauling, and we're excited to chat with him more today. Mike, thanks for taking time to meet with us.
Thank you so much, Troy. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to have you, and starting off, just tell us, how did you get into this business?
So, very long story short, I was a manager at a storage facility. I just so happened to order, I think it was a few bunks of insulation. And the gentleman who showed up to deliver the insulation, I asked him, I was fresh out of school, maybe 5-6 months fresh out of school, with no luck getting a tractor trailer job, even though the school I went to promised that they would help us find work. And even though I have no criminal history, my driving record is clean, I just couldn't find work. I don't know what it was. And I asked him if he was hiring, and he gave me his number. And every other day I was calling him, I was texting him. I'm like, hey man, when can we do a road test? When can we do this? When can we do that? And he's just like, dude, you just don't let up. And yeah, just, just like the key to life is just consistency and persistence. And I just kept on him about it, and he took me on the road. I grinded almost every gear on the downshift, and he hit his face every single time because it just sounded like just grinding up a pound of coffee, And I just stuck with it. It's, you just got to keep swimming.
That's true. That's very true. Any business, whether it's what you're doing, what I'm doing, and so you were working in a store. Did you do anything before that? I know you mentioned you'd gone to school and were going to drive, but were you in any other kind of career path before that, or no?
No, not really. So right before I got the tractor trailer job, I worked 2 jobs, 18 hours a day. I literally would ride my bike from one side of town to the other side of town, my bicycle, half sleep. I used to work. I talk about it a little bit on the channel. I worked in between both jobs on only 2.5 hours of sleep. My girlfriend used to have to hold my head up to feed me because I'd rather sleep than eat, because right. I could eat at both of my jobs, but sleep right. I couldn't.
So getting into what you're doing now, some of the typical loads that you haul, what on a typical day-to-day basis?
So there's a wide spectrum of it. Everything from, even though it was frowned upon to put it on the flatbed, kitchen cabinets. We did drywall. We did the buckets of drywall mud. We did everything from concrete blocks to bags of pebbles, stones, you name it. It was just like a wide assortment of things. We actually had a customer once from, this was the rumor. He was actually a millionaire, so he designed an app. I guess the app ended up selling for millions of dollars, and he was a native of Greece, and he had his own yacht. Bought, I don't know, anywhere from like $40,000 to like $60,000 of Milwaukee tools, palletized. Had Home Depot palletize it, and it was like, I don't know, 7 skids worth of tools that I had to deliver to his house in the pouring rain. And you know what? We had to do it. He had, at least a 1/4 mile long driveway, all windy and stuff. And you know what? the load assortment varies, you know.
So is it mainly for you? Is it materials? Do you do any equipment hauling as well?
Not really so much equipment hauling. I mean, I guess you could say that the Moffat that we have on the back of the trailers is part of equipment. So, aside from the tools that we have for the job, like the winch bar, the winch strap winders, the winches, the straps, there really isn't a lot of equipment that we do haul aside from like ride-on lawnmowers and the zero turns. That's pretty much the only thing that. Oh, and snow blowers too. Whenever they run out of capacity on the box truck, they'll put them on the flatbed as well. So they have to strap them down to a pallet and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha. So, is there anything that's really out of the ordinary that you've hauled that you can remember that you probably one time and never had to haul it again? Just something weird.
Yeah. This was back when I first got my start doing this. Oh my god. They sent me to the Bridgeport store and they gave me a 4-pack of light bulbs. A 4-pack. And when I tell you, like, I had a rap sheet on there that was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 pages long of just materials that were supposed to be on this order. And I was delivering it, I think, to Fairfield High School. And I pulled up in the big horseshoe because I didn't want to park on the actual street making a delivery. I show up, I'm like, hey, I'm here to speak with the guy from maintenance, I guess. I'm not sure where you guys want all this material. So they're like, oh, hang on. I gave the 4-pack of light bulbs to the guy, and he's just like, that's it. I was like, that's it. I was like, have a great day. And so I told the cop that was there at the Fairfield High School, I said, hey, man, you're probably going to have to escort these vehicles out of the horseshoe because I'm not going to be able to make it around. And they are parked in a no parking zone. He's like, you had a delivery here? I was like, I sure did. And he goes, what'd you deliver? I said, a 4-pack of light bulbs. He went, a 4-pack of light bulbs? That's it? You're having me escort everybody out of the horseshoe for a 4-pack of light bulbs. I said, yeah, isn't it great?
That is something else.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I have hauled rolls of bubble wrap. I've seen people pay full $80 deliveries for 2 5-packs of lawn and leaf bags.
Huh.
Yeah, like a full delivery.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
You know what? That'll get the VIP. It'll ride on my lap the whole way, no problem.
Right. Yeah, and with the economy and the supply chain and all this crap going on right now, I just can't imagine. I can't imagine some of the challenges and crazy things going on. Yeah, I've worked in manufacturing for years and been in logistics and supply chain. And the last year, the things we deal with, it's off the hook. The crazy things we're dealing with. Is there a certain type of truck you're partial to that you're using?
Yeah. So right now we rent all of our equipment from Penske, only because as a small time business owner, the amount of breakdowns and stuff like that we could have, and the amount of money that I would pay out of pocket to pay for the tow truck, to pay for the diagnostics, to pay for the the downtime, and then if I owned the truck, it would be sitting in the shop for a few days, and then I'm gonna miss a few days worth of work, and then I'm probably gonna want to go rent a Penske anyway. I might as well just nip it right in the bud and just go rent a Penske. And right now, I have, I believe, a 2015 Freightliner. It's a dual axle day cab, and they really dial the power down on those to conserve the life of the engine. But overall, this truck has been the longest lasting truck that I've had from any company that I've rented.
That's good. So you don't like to do any wrenching or mechanicking on your own, or do you do some of that?
I do. So I have a Subaru that I work on from time to time, but because it is a rental vehicle, I try, unless I'm filling the fluids or changing the wiper blades, it's all the maintenance is covered on the truck. So I don't have to do any of that. I don't have to touch any of it. It's all covered by Penske as long as, it's not driver negligence and we don't break it, then it's all covered. As long as it's wear and tear, it's all covered. Now on the trailer, I might pump some grease into the landing gear. As far as the Moffett or the forklift that climbs into the back of the trailer, I actually went out and bought a Ryobi grease gun, so that way, because we're supposed to grease and PM them, I think every 3 months, and with these things getting used and abused every day, you'll be surprised how quickly the joints dry out. So I'm like, you know what? I rather spend $120 on a grease gun. I already have a crap ton of batteries, and a $5 tube of grease to get me going for another month.
Right.
That's a pretty good trade off.
Yep. Preventive maintenance is a smart move, always. And you mentioned trailers. I know you talked a lot about flatbed trailers. Is there a certain type or brand that you favor? Or
yeah, well, the one that we did use was a Great Dane trailer. All different years. I've driven, I think, a 2016, 2017. Some of these look like they just came out the war, like just the decks all beat to crap, and you know what? These things are made out of solid steel, so these things go forever. These things go forever until they decommission them, and a service company has to service them so that way they can go and get sold off, so that way they can buy new equipment.
Gotcha. Now, you probably deal with a lot of different types of clients as well. What's your average run-of-the-mill client? You'd say the one most repetitive type client?
It depends on the season. So whereas we have from different season to season, we have our annual customers that only order a specific type of material, such as pellet fuel that heats their home. But then we also have these multi-million-dollar contractors, and then we have these right around the block contractors that are always building, small-time decks and small-time additions to homes or sheds, or it's a wide variety of people. But out in this area of the Northeast, we tend to get a lot of elderly people who are just looking to spruce up their lawn, or shrub their trees, trim their shrubs and stuff like that. And it's a wide variety of people. The attitudes, that's a different story.
Now speaking of that, one of the reasons your channel is awesome, and I think one of the reasons people love to watch, are these interactions with these clients who are literally, quote unquote, a pain in the butt. So tell us about a couple of those really noteworthy experiences you've had with some of these rascals.
Oh man, you know what it is? It's for those viewers who are just watching and just tuning in, who have never seen my channel. We have a term that we use, and it's called Karen. Karen has nothing to do with, your skin color. It has nothing to do with your ethnicity. It has to do with entitlement. And people like to misrepresent and oversell the services that we do and that we provide. As a third-party delivery service, it's our job to deliver a curbside delivery. Anything beyond curbside is driver discretion. And, we get the, like I said, the pellet fuel customers, and we'll get a customer that's like, hey, Tom at such and such store promised me that the pellet fuel was going to go inside the garage. I'm like, I'm sorry, my name isn't Tom, and I'm not the one who promised you. You should probably call Tom. And they get super I don't even know if we can cuss on here, but they get super upset. They get
Right.
super upset, and
Right.
and then it makes me look like the bad guy because I have to explain to them, hey, because they're stomping their feet, they're clenching their fists, wait till my husband hears about this, and I'm just like, okay, I'll wait, no problem. I'll explain it to him too, and it gets to the point where it's like, it's a curbside delivery. Your driveway's 300 feet long. They're like, well, I don't want the delivery. I'm like, okay, then how about I just go leave it on the curb where I was originally contracted to leave it, and then you can call the store and schedule a pickup, and then have us come back and pick it up from the curb, which is where we get paid to leave it. Now, if you want to cry because I didn't push it an extra 8 feet into your garage, sorry, but if you call the store, they're most likely going to agree with me that it's a curbside delivery. Anything beyond curbside is driver discretion. And it's funny that you ask about that because we just released a video a couple of days ago. It would have had to been within the last week, and it's on the channel and it's titled "The Original Karen Story." And if you got time, I'd like to tell you about it.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
All right, so when I first started this gig, I worked for my old boss, and I actually had to do a delivery down in like the Seymour, Connecticut area, and we had a customer order. It had to be like 5 tons of pellet fuel, and I couldn't find her house, and I thought that was kind of odd, because for whatever reason, whoever came up with the idea, let's put the mailbox that belongs to the house across the street adjacent to the house, not in front of the home it belongs to. So so I called up the lady. I said, hey, I'm having trouble finding your house. And she was like, oh, it's the house that is behind the trees. You're probably not going to be able to see it from the road. And I said, all right, well, I'm coming up this way. Is your house on the right or left? She goes, oh, it's on the right. So I said, all right, cool. So I start delivering to the home, and then all of a sudden the neighbor comes down her driveway in her Mercedes and starts screaming at me, talking about that's her pellet fuel. And I'm like, okay, so the neighbor is actually the customer. I'm like, you gave me the wrong instruction. You said it was the house that was behind the trees, not, the house that was all the way up the hill and then some, and then behind the trees. And I was like, lady, you're killing me. You understand that? I was like, I got other deliveries I got to do. I'm running out of time. So I go to do her delivery, and I see how long the driveway is. It's not paved. I bring it up the driveway, and she says to me, oh, I want the 5 tons inside of the garage. I said, okay. So we're not really supposed to do that because it's a liability issue. But if you sign the damage waiver, sign and date it, I'll do it for you. So she signed it, she dated it. I put all 5 in without incident. Gave her the documents to sign afterwards saying that she received the delivery. And then she writes on the paperwork that driver damaged the garage, right? So I said, oh, that seems legit. What do I care? She signed the damage waiver, right? Wrong. So I get a phone call from my old boss's insurance company. They asked me to explain the situation to them. I said, number one, I have all these facts stacked against the lady as to how I knew she was lying. I said, number one, right, I had her sign a damage waiver. The customer claimed that I had her sign the damage waiver after I damaged her garage. I said, that's BS, because if I'm protecting myself, why would I have you sign it afterwards? And number two, why would you sign it if you knew what you were signing? Like, why would you sign anything without reading it, right? And I said,
Right.
And, point number two, there's a scrape on her garage on the top of the siding that went from right to left and it gradually got deeper. I said, if I'm going in straight, how is there a scrape from right to left? That doesn't make any sense. I said, if you look closer at the low quality picture, whatever traded paint with her garage was green. There's nothing on my rig that's green. Not even the grease on the chain is green. So she pressed the issue. She pressed the issue. Home Depot made my old boss pay the claim because it didn't go. It didn't reach his deductible amount, so he had to pay cash out of pocket. It's crazy, right?
Jeez. That is crazy.
Oh, and then it gets
crazy.
better. You ready for this?
Yeah.
She worked for Home Depot.
Oh my gosh.
And that's
Really?
Yep, and that's why we don't really go above and beyond anymore, because it's like we have a Home Depot provided liability waiver. We had the customer sign it prior to us doing the delivery. That's supposed to eliminate the potential for any and all claims against us or Home Depot or our broker company or whoever, and the customer still comes out on top.
That's crazy. That's just crazy. Hey, we hope you're enjoying our show, and if you are, we would appreciate it if you would help us out. Crush that like button, hit the subscribe, and be sure notifications are on so you'll be notified whenever we release a new podcast, guide, or compilation. We appreciate the support, and now let's get back to the show. Have you always been able to maintain a pretty cool and calm demeanor during all this stuff? Or have you just like gotten thick-skinned over it? It's easy to deal with. Has it always been easy, or have you developed this method?
So when I first started this job, I used to drink myself to sleep and cry myself to sleep every night.
Oh,
because I just didn't get it. I didn't understand, because there was so much gray area that wasn't really talked about. And like, for instance, the whole curbside versus courtesy versus going above and beyond and driving over someone's septic to putting it inside the garage, and how I can get in trouble even though I covered myself to have the customer sign the waiver, but doing the right thing just isn't doing the right thing. To no good deed goes unpunished, but that's okay. You keep on keeping on, and you keep fighting the good fight, and you just keep persevering, and don't let them get inside your head. And then, after a while, you just block everything out, and you just want to, you just want the day to be over. So you just show up, do your job, and just keep on pushing.
Well, that's a good attitude to have, and like you said, you develop that. It doesn't come on the front end. You either sleep yourself to it or drink yourself to it. That's for sure.
And that's the thing. We always, anytime we train people, we let them know, like, this job is not for the faint of heart. You'll go into sketchy situations. You'll get into sketchy scenarios where I can't tell you how many times we've gone down dead end, like one lane dead end roads at, in the middle of October, middle of November, where the sun sets at 3:40 in the afternoon.
Right.
And we got to back out the same way we got down there with no help.
Oh, geez.
And, you got to just stab your brakes. You got to pump your brakes so that your tail lights can illuminate the road behind you, because these trucks don't really come with reverse lights on them.
Right.
So you got to kind of wiggle back, and a lot of times these roads are out in the middle of the woods, out in the middle of the sticks. So there's really nothing you can do. Nothing but some acorns and some, deer poop to guide you back.
So what's the future looking like for Safford Delivery and Transportation? Do you look to expand, do anything different? What's the plan going forward?
So the plan right now is just to keep on keeping on, because I do have an important surgery coming up this month. It's kind of hard for me to go and explore other contracts and stuff like that. But one thing that we are going to be doing with the YouTube channel, though, is we are on a mission to provide content for everyone and provide a little of something for everybody. It's everything from, we still have our deliveries at 6 a.m. that we schedule Monday through Saturday. We have a drone pilot. We do nature shots. We do food reviews. I do have a few other projects in the works. I'm only one guy. I can't do it all. So I'm, we just got monetized May of this year. So YouTube actually pays my company to create content, and we don't know if it's going to work until we try it. This like drone content, we probably get about 500 views a day whenever we post it for the first day. Then after that, it kind of like trails off. But hey, that's 500 views we didn't have before. And you got 2 drone videos, that's 1,000 views. You have a food review that, probably got 1,000 views, and I posted it 3 weeks ago. But then again, who's looking for food reviews from a trucking company? You know what? Not all truckers can find a good meal out there. We get tired of going to truck stops, going to Wendy's, eating Sbarro's pizza, eating Panda Express, McDonald's, Subway. That's why post COVID, what we're really trying to do is support local businesses, and that's one of the really, really big things that we're doing right now. With this sticker that I have on my chest, we're selling these for $5 on our Etsy page, and 100% of the contribution goes to Toys for Tots, as well as my company is going to be donating $500 for the Toys for Tots. We have links on the Etsy page where you guys can buy them. We are also dining at and doing food reviews at mom and pop's small businesses. And my company pays for all the editing. We do all the, everything that we're supposed to do with a video to promote small businesses. We pay for it all. Our company shirts. I actually have a local company in Taffville called Pro Cop Signs. We filmed it, spent the whole day there, probably a couple hours filming how they make our company shirts and stuff. We edited it, put it on YouTube. It's just more content for people to watch. We're trying to have our fans be immersed and take this emotional ride with us and just ride it till the wheels fall off, We have a lot more plans for 2022. I tell you that much.
Awesome. Well, if there's any other bombs you want to drop, now's the time. So let's self promote and come on with it.
Our contract actually got dropped 3 weeks ago. So apparently there was someone that was a little upset that they saw themselves on YouTube and reported us to Home Depot and the higher ups, and our contract with Home Depot actually got canceled.
Wow.
Yep. All because of a delivery video. Yeah. And you know what? Apparently that was our third strike, because the first strike I'm not going to talk about because you guys will just have to stay tuned and watch for it on the channel. But our second strike was back in August. We actually had a customer. You can look up the title of the video called Angry Customer says he's refusing to load if we can't deliver it to his backyard or something. And basically it showed a less favorable delivery predicament. And basically, like I've already explained, it was a curbside delivery, and the customer had an attitude with us on the phone prior to us even getting there. We gave him about an hour call ahead. He asked us what were we delivering, and I told him lumber. And he asked about the specifics, and I told him I didn't have the specifics. And he said, well, aren't you a truck driver? Shouldn't you know what's always on your truck? And I said, it's a little bit different when you're doing LTL freight, which stands for less than truckload hauling, because it's not just point A to point B. If I pull up to a shipping location, I might pick up 7 orders, drop off 3, head to the next shipping location, pick up another 4, and that's how my day goes. We don't get into specifics because we don't specifically deal with the order process. All we are is a transportation company that picks up the merchandise and drops it off. Point B being the customer's location. Now, if we can't accommodate it to get it to a specific part of the job site, that's not really on us. Our contract, and what we're supposed to do is leave it curbside. Obviously, we don't want to do that because it'll anger a lot of people. So we always do our best to accommodate. But then there's some customers that there's just no pleasing, and he was just one of those guys where, he said, if you're not going to take a walk up there with me to see if you could fit your machine through my fence, then I don't want it. You could bring it back to the store. And I said, all right, well, let me take a look when I get up there. He wasn't happy with it, and that video went viral. It hit, I think, 1.8 million views in something like less than a week. It was like 4 days, 5 days. And someone in corporate saw it, reached out to our broker company. Broker company requested, they couldn't demand, but they requested that we remove the video. And so we did. We were just like, you know what? We're not going to cry over one video. It's just one video. It's not like they were asking us to remove the channel, which, again, our videos are revolved around doing deliveries. It may or may not always be a Home Depot delivery or a delivery for anyone in specific, but our channel tries to focus on the day in, day out, in a vlog of whatever we get into on a day-to-day basis. And I would say that video back in August of the angry customers, the one that really put us on the radar for corporate. And then we just had another customer complain about 3 weeks ago. So I actually haven't done a Home Depot delivery, in about 3 weeks. I've been doing YouTube full time. I'm humble, I'm blessed, because YouTube actually pays enough money that I can still afford to feed my family. And, I have a small team of editors. I have a drone pilot. I have an assistant. I have animators. And we're just gonna keep on keeping on, and we're gonna ride this train till the wheels fall off. As far as like the YouTube thing goes, and just keep on keeping on, because we don't want to make it seem like it's just that's our whole day, because it's really not. We're still doing, food reviews. We're still doing recipes. We're still doing everything outside the scope of deliveries that we're trying to now incorporate it. And we have been for months, but it's hard when I'm scheduling deliveries in between. I'm scheduling videos in between doing deliveries and waiting for the trucks to get loaded and everything like that, and coming up with the titles and the descriptions and adding the links to follow. This was before I had a dedicated editor, and just doing all this on the fly. On the fly. A couple months ago, I was waking up at 2:00 in the morning, and I had to write down ideas that I had for the YouTube channel in my phone so that I wouldn't forget it. And even my team has trouble keeping up with all my ambitions, and they tell me all the time, you got to slow it down. I'm like, if I got to slow it down, then I need to find a new team.
Hey, man, I want to say congratulations in a way, because, a lot of times the biggest misfortunes turn into the biggest fortunes, and I'm hoping that works that way for you. It looks like you've got a plan and everything's great. And thank you again so much for joining us today on our E&C podcast. Thanks a bunch.
You're very welcome. And again, guys, we are selling these stickers. They are holographic. If I had my business cards here with me, they're actually on back order. But we are selling these stickers, $5 on the Etsy page. 100% of the contribution goes for the Toys for Tots drive for this year. We are selling these stickers now until the end of the month, because that's when we have to get our shopping done and meet up with the Marines to donate these toys for the children. So please, if you find it in your heart to do so, they're only $5. We actually have fans that buy the stickers on the Etsy page, and then they leave a note or a message that they don't actually want the stickers, that they're purchasing them just to help support the cause. And if you guys will do so, we greatly appreciate it. And Troy, if you wouldn't mind, I do mention something on our YouTube channel because part of what we do is we like to inspire other people. One of the slogans that I personally have is Dare to Dream, Dream to Inspire. And basically what we're doing is we are reaching out to help promote the industry to young adults, to children, to let them get out there, get off of the computers, get away from the TV, and get out there and do something with their lives. And, because we hear it on the news every single day that there's a shortage of drivers, and that's not really the case. Don't let the media fool you. There isn't. There's just the pay of what they're paying us and the conditions that us truck drivers have to endure. It kind of makes it not worth it anymore, and it doesn't make it any more lucrative. So, what we need to do is we need to fight for change, and we also need to inspire children to get out there and make something of themselves rather than be couch potatoes. And that's why, with part of that is the message that we're sending with these stickers is that dare to dream, that dream to inspire, and that positive message. And that's what we always like to push on the YouTube channel. And just overall, we do it for the kids because children are our future. And if for those people who have not realized it yet, it is a urgent message that needs to be promoted and needs to be put out there with a positive backing to it, that children are the future. And, they're going to be our bosses one day. So, we need to make the world a little bit brighter and, make someone's holiday that much better this year, if we could.
Awesome. That's awesome. Awesome project, and encourage everybody to jump on and get that, make that donation. That would be great. Super. Mike, best of luck to you. I don't think you need luck. I think you've got blessings abounding over you, and they're coming to you. So just as my parents always used to tell me, just be open to all those things that are coming and be ready for it. And we wish you all the best. And thanks so much for joining us today.